Spiritual awakening does not feel like light streaming through stained glass windows. It feels like your world cracking open, and you suddenly realizing the ground you trusted was never solid. It is shocking, because what once satisfied you suddenly tastes bitter. The conversations, the entertainment, the desires that used to consume you no longer fit, and there is an ache you cannot explain, as if heaven itself is calling you home. And the hidden truth is this: when God begins to open your eyes, He must first strip away every false comfort, every illusion you clung to, so it feels like loss before it feels like life. Like Abraham leaving his homeland, not knowing where he was going. Like Jacob wrestling in the dark until his hip was broken. Because awakening always demands breaking. And you sense this secret shift where ordinary days feel charged with eternity, where Romans 8:28 becomes more than a verse, but the pulse of your reality, because you see how the pieces of pain and joy are woven into a pattern you could not see before, and it unsettles you because you no longer fit neatly into the world's rhythms. You feel like a stranger even among friends, and this is the hidden warning sign. When you awaken, isolation will come first, because God pulls you away from the crowd to tune your ears to His whisper, and that whisper will disturb you, calling out hidden sins, exposing patterns you ignored, bringing Matthew 10:39 to life as you lose what you thought was life and gain something eternal. And sometimes it feels like you are going crazy because the old you keeps begging to be fed. But the Spirit in you is hungrier still, restless for righteousness, unwilling to return to chains you once called freedom. And there will be nights you lie awake, because the Spirit convicts, warns, and reveals, and your sleep cannot cover what your soul has seen. And this is why chosen ones secretly battle so fiercely when awakening begins, because the enemy knows a soul awakened is a soul dangerous. So lust, fear, shame, and distraction will intensify as snares, trying to drag you back into blindness. But now you see the trap, and it cannot satisfy. For 2 Corinthians 4:4 says the God of this age blinds the minds of unbelievers. Yet you are no longer blind, and suddenly Scripture feels alive as if it were breathing in your hands. Verses you read for years now pierce like arrows. Prayers you whispered become weapons, and you realize awakening is not gentle. It is war, because God is peeling scales from your eyes while the enemy tries to glue them shut again. And so your emotions swing like waves, some days overcome with joy, as if heaven's gates are already open. Other days crushed under the weight of loneliness and the silence of God. And yet, even in silence, you discern His nearness, because the very hunger for Him proves His Spirit is in you. And the secret nobody tells you is that awakening feels less like gaining power and more like losing control, because the Spirit is leading you into deserts like He led Jesus in Matthew 4, stripping you of distractions so you can confront what lurks in the dark. And though it terrifies you, it also frees you, for the chains fall when you finally admit you were bound, and the world will not understand this transformation. They will call you strange, intense, too serious, but you know it is written in John 15:19 that you are not of this world, and suddenly even your failures are reframed, because grace is no longer theory, but breath, and the weight of sin breaks you only to bind you closer to Christ. And as this awakening deepens, you start to notice hidden patterns, the way God warns before storms, the way He closes doors that would have destroyed you. the way He lets people leave who could not walk where you are going. And it shocks you how clearly you see, but also how misunderstood you feel, because the awakened cannot go back to sleep even when they want to. And this is the secret pain of spiritual awakening. You mourn the old you miss the ease of blindness, you even envy those still asleep. Yet deep inside, you would never trade this vision for ignorance, because now you taste eternity, and nothing else can satisfy. And so awakening feels like a death and resurrection inside you, daily crucifixion, as Paul said in Galatians 2:20. Dying to yourself so that Christ may live through you, and though the world calls it madness, you know it is mercy, because God loved you enough to unsettle you, to disturb you, to pull you out of slumber. And so, the challenge is clear. Will you yield to this burning or run back to the numbness of sleep? Because awakening is not a phase, it is a summons. And if you dare to answer, you will never be the same.